Hey guys, how's it going? It's 8 Byte Brian here, and I'm back again for flea market pickups for May. And yes, I know it's June. Sorry, it took a little bit longer than I expected to get around to this, but here we go. Let's go through toys and other random goodies, and we'll, do video games and stuff like that, because I've got a lot to get through this month. A lot of fun stuff to show you guys, so let's check it out. Alright, so first, let's look at comics. God, I cannot even tell you how much I love comics. So I collect. I don't really read anything new. Not that I think there's anything wrong with the New 52 or the way they've rebooted the whole universe, and now it's even evolved past New 52 or whatever the heck it is now. I just really like classic comics. Anything from the later Golden Age. I don't like the earlier Golden Age stuff so much because it's kind of weird, like with stories of knights and like the characters are just really obscure and weird from that time period. Like they're cool and I respect it, but I just really can't relate to a lot of those books. But like when you first see Batman appear in like Detective Comics or like very early Superman, which of course I can't afford, not when you're getting back into like the 40s and 30s, like. My earliest comic book I have, I think, is like 1948, and that's like a Classics Illustrated. Usually see them a lot, so they're not too hard to pick up. They're like kind of that thing, like it'll be like a comic book of like Lady of the Lake or King Arthur. Like they're very generic books in that time period because the comic code it really wasn't unified yet, so it was just kind of a it was making sure that all of the stories were, just kind of generic and not offensive to any readers. So I like a lot of Silver Age, especially Silver Age, and late Golden Age comic books. So I'm definitely a Marvel fan. I don't want to say that I'm a Marvel fanboy, but, I like a lot of stuff in the DC universe too. So, let's go through it. Here I have Justice League America number 46, and this is the first appearance of Sandman, and you also have a Solomon Grundy appearance. So that's a really nice book. Don't know how well you can see that, but that's really cool. That's like 1965, give or take. That's probably $25 or so book. That's in good plus the borderline, very good condition. Here I have an early Batman. This is Batman and the Crystal Ball That Betrayed Batman, number 192. Nice 12 center. And you don't see a lot of the early Batmans very often, so that's really cool. It shows how like he goes up against this kind of magician, like phony, who's able to figure out who Bruce Wayne is. And this is like a $20 book as well. I didn't pay that for these, just so you guys know. I honestly don't remember half of what I paid for stuff. So, I'm just trying to remember what I can about the books. And, alright, this is the Avengers 91. This really isn't a key issue at all, but this is the Avengers, I think it's called the Quasars. They're like a different species that like look down on humans and stuff. They think that they're superior and like have evolved past emotions and stuff. And he's brainwashed all of the Avengers and brought them down to their lowest point. And the Avengers are all fighting each other. And you have... Oh, I can't remember his name. It's not the Atom. He was one of the earlier, more obscure Avengers that they kind of did away with in the beginning. And this is almost a key issue, not really, because you have the last appearance of the Wasp and the Yellow Jacket, where they resign from the Avengers, so kind of, I guess. I got an early Daredevil here. This is Daredevil 71. If an eye offend thee, and he's on trial for crimes that, or at least perceived crimes that people have, perceived that he committed while, trying to do justice, and, he's battling for his life in some trial by, like combat. So just really cool. I like the fact that, I can say that I have an early Daredevil in my collection. You got Fantastic Four number 89. This is a good one. Another appearance of the Mole Man, the madness of the Mole Man, and the Fantastic Four trapped in his underground lair and doing battle with him. So really cool. Love that. Love Fantastic Four. I've got some great stuff to show you with that coming up for my June finds early on so far, so I don't want to spoil anything. And here I got a nice number 2, Kull the Conqueror. This is a very good minus copy, about a 3.5. Really nice, though. I'm not really too into Kull, honestly. It's just anytime I see these old Marvel 15-cent books for cheap, like $5 or less, I pick them up because in the condition they're in, they're only going to increase in value. So, in the way that superhero movies are taking off right now, comics are definitely an investment. So I recommend, if you guys can find good comics out there that are cheap and you know what you're looking for, go for it. Now this one, if you guys saw my Krusty Comics review for the month of May, this was Tales of Suspense, Captain America, and Iron Man. And this was the first time that Captain America battled the Black Panther in comics, so absolutely a key issue. This is a $25 to $45 comic in its current condition right here, and only going up with Civil War being out in theaters right now, and the Black Panther, being a hot commodity. So I love that book. It's a great read. This is another nice one. Also a little bit hard to find. This is a 12-cent early Doctor Strange, where he's fighting Dormammu. And really cool cover art. I'm a huge Doctor Strange fan. It's a shame that they toned down his powers and made him so lame nowadays, because classic Doctor Strange is just, like, you can't even touch him. Like, he's just amazing. So I really hate that they rebooted everything. I wish they would just reset it to that storyline, but I know you can't because of multiple universes and whatever. So hey, comics, reasons. And this one I actually didn't realize when I bought it. I thought that this was a early Ghost Rider, which it actually is, but this is another series of Ghost Rider from Marvel with the Western comics, and it's actually pretty neat. I had some other earlier official, like, Ghost Rider, like, riding the motorcycle comics, but this is pretty cool. I mean, it's not what I expected, but I'm glad I have it in my collection. And this is also really cool. This is an early Flash, number 177, a 12-cent Flash, where his head gets really swelled up like a balloon, and he's got to find a cure before it explodes with, I think it's the prankster or the trickster trying to kill him. And he blew some chemical on him that made his, gave him a swell head, and everybody just thinks he's really arrogant. So I love that I got an early Flash in my collection now. That's really cool. And last but not least, this isn't as old as the other ones, being it's an 81, but this is the first appearance of Elektra in Daredevil. And this is probably just a nice, very good copy, like about 4.0. And that's about a $45 to $50 comic, even in that shape, just because with the popularity of Daredevil and the first appearance of Elektra. So really like that. Very cool. So that's my comics for the month of May. Let's move on to toys. Alright, so this isn't a toy per se, but I'm going to group it in with the toys. I found a Sega Visions magazine out and about in my travels, and I don't know if any of you remember the Sega Visions, but that was Sega's answer to the Nintendo Power subscription. It shows Sonic and Knuckles on the front. You have all types of advertisements for different games coming out. Let me see if I can find a good one in here. Oh my god, well I didn't find a good one, but I certainly found a bad one. There's an advertisement for Bubsy 2. Oh no. But, this was a really cool thing for Sega, and it's a shame that just because Sega got one out in, beat out in the console wars, that's why, it kind of got dissolved. Because I also found even though I sold in at my local game store, I found a Turbo Play magazine, which I totally regret giving that away because, you know, I'm never going to see another one of those as long as I live. So, but very cool. Sega Vision's awesome. Good read. I also found some handhelds here. I found a little Spy Hunter Playtime handheld, and this is actually off of the game Spy Hunter, and it plays kind of okay. You can use little smoke screens and stuff. I don't have a manual or anything for it, but it works, and it's pretty fun, and just cool that it has the Spy Hunter brand on it. And, you know, not a Tiger LCD, so pretty cool. And then once again, we have another, this is a Konami, sorry, it's a Konami LCD that I have here, Top Gun. And I haven't played that yet because I still have to clean the contacts out a little better because it turns on, but it kind of glitches off, so it works, but it just needs a little more TLC. And I love the way these are molded with that weird design, but it actually fits really nice in your hand, so I like these handhelds a lot. They're really, really neat. And now this one, not a toy, this is awesome. This is Transformers Volume 1 FHE Limited Collector's Edition VHS. And you can see the amazing art there and the cartoon style comic on the back. And on the front you have Optimus Prime saying, "Back off, Megatron, the Autobots are here." And Megatron's yelling back, "Surrender, fool! Earth is mine for the taking." And I love how Megatron's calling Optimus Prime a fool. Like, who says that anymore? Nobody says fool. But aside from the awesome box, it comes in this really cool, nice vinyl clamshell with a metallic sticker and the blue cover. And you open that up. And again, you have the nice metallic sticker on there. So, I mean, this is so much different than the other, like, regular run-of-the-mill Transformers, you know, Season 1 VHS that you have, you know, that you might watch. That's nice. That's really nice, and I paid like 50 cents for it, I think. And let's see what else we got here toy-wise. Also, you guys saw my Tomy Pocketfuls review. I found the Caterpillar, like the Centipede, Tomy handheld game where they stick up at the top and kind of play like Centipede with the metal beads. And the Tic-Tac-Toe little metal bead game from Tomy. So I added those to my collection. They're really nice, really cool. And I also found this Bandai Electronics Missile Invader, which is basically just a cheap ripoff of Space Invaders, which of course what wasn't in the early 80s. And it's a really neat little handheld game, but you only shoot at like one enemy in a UFO at a time. But you know, again, I paid like $1 or 50 cents for this, and on eBay these are selling between like $30 to $50. Like that just tells you how insane the video game market is. That, you know, people are just buying up everything. So if you can find stuff cheap, it's a great little side business to get into. I totally recommend it. Aside from that, I also found, since you guys saw, or probably hope you saw, my video on Mad Balls, I found Spitballs. So I don't know if you guys remember Spitballs, but you would put them in water and squeeze them and they'd fill up with water, and they do pretty much exactly what you would think they do. They spit water out. And we got Freddy Krueger here, and he looks awesome with his hat and his messed up face. And we have his victim. Oh my god, he's got a big gruesome scar all over his face. And he's like, "Oh my god, it's Freddy, don't stab me!" And they're really cool. They're definitely an overlooked toy from the 80s. Alright, so I think that pretty much wraps up toys. So let's do video games. Alright, let's start it off. I have here 2 Sega CD games that I picked up. Both for, I think, like $1.50 each. I got Jurassic Park and Racing Aces, which actually looks really, really neat. It kind of reminds me of a lot of like the FX chip games that you saw on the Super Nintendo with the different types of graphics. So they both look really cool. I can't wait to try them out because I actually just got a Sega CD as well recently, and I'll show you that a little later. For the Game Boy, I found something really, really cool. This is a Game Boy multi-card. It's a Super 8-in-1, and the games that are on it are Dr. Mario, Space Invaders, Tetris, Motocross, and Alleyway. But they're only like 50% of those games are actually on there. Like there's tennis, there's Alleyway, there's Tetris, Space Invaders, but I haven't been able to get to the Motocross one or Dr. Mario yet. So you probably can't see it, but up in the top here, there's no embossed Nintendo logo on it. So that's how you can tell this is a pirate multi-card. So I don't know how much this is worth. I haven't even really seen any of these online, but it's really cool. It's weird when you go to play it. I'll eventually do a review on it because you have to like hold down either the left, right, or B and A arrows as you power it on, and then that'll kind of show what game is going to play next. Also, I found, I told you this was going to be a long flea market pickups video this month. I found a bunch of Mega Drive games, and let me tell you, you never see Mega Drive games. Now, you never see a Mega Drive to begin with, so a lot of you are probably thinking, well, why on earth did you pick up Mega Drive games? You can't play them. Well, not true, faithful viewer. If you have a 32X, or if you have a Sega Genesis Game Genie, you can put these little suckers in the top, and even though you won't be able to read Japanese, you'll be able to play the games. So which ones did I get? Phantasy Star 2, which is amazing that I picked that up. Vermilion, which is sort of a million, but they just called it Vermilion in the European or Japanese version. And this is really crazy. This is Sonic 3D Flicky's Island. I did not know they called it Flicky's Island in the Japanese release. And oh my god, let me just tell you, this game is horrible. Like, just save yourself the pain. Don't ever play this on your Genesis. It's the perspective is so crazy. It's a top-down, simulated 3D game, but it's on a 2D platform, and you're moving like a million miles an hour, and you just want to throw up. It's terrible. All of these I paid $2 a piece for. Phantasy Star, again, that's like a $30 to $50 game. So, I'm telling you, man, if you guys just go and hit those flea markets on your days off, or even find the ones that are, there's plenty of ones in my area where I live in PA and Jersey that are, maybe open on a Tuesday or open on a Friday. So even if you're not, off on the weekend, take an hour or two before you go to work, stop by, bring 20, 30 bucks there. You don't have to spend it all, but, hey, look around. You can really dig up some good finds. So let's go into some other miscellaneous games. I got a couple here for the Genesis, which are really cool. I found this one called Insector X, where it looks like you're this little robot wasp guy, and you're fighting like all these other android yellow jackets and stuff. So kind of like a bug type game, where I guess you're invading the hive and stuff like that. So that looks really cool. Looks fun to play. Only $5, and I think it goes for around 12 to 15 online. And this was a killer find. Star Control. Haven't played this yet, but got this for only $1. This goes for 20 bucks. So, great find. It was in one of those ones where you go through people that have a bunch of boxes and bins, and you think, is it really worth going through? Sometimes it is. You just have to have a good eye, and you might be able to pick out a gem or two out of there. Also, I got some couple of Atari pickups, kind of light on my Atari pickups this month, but still some pretty decent ones. I got Mountain King, which is a Donkey Kong clone, and Fast Eddie, which is also a Donkey Kong clone. Both of these are pretty uncommon. They're not really worth a lot. I think Mountain King might be worth 10, Fast Eddie close to that, but they're fairly uncommon. Alright, now let's see what else we got here. I got some other... here we go. Let's see. PlayStation. I didn't pick up too much in PlayStation this month, but I got Die Hard Trilogy 2, and this is, what? This is the Vegas one? Yeah, Viva Las Vegas, and I love the first one, so again, got this for like $1 or $1.50 at a local Goodwill. Can't wait to play it. Looks really fun. And I got Starfighter for the PS1. Also a pretty uncommon game, and looks really solid. A really solid shoot 'em up, and it's kind of looks like their answer to Star Fox. So haven't had time to play this yet, but that's definitely in my rotation to get to. And then this, I found Gex for the 3DO. And this goes for 25 to 30 bucks online, paid $1 for it. And it's just in a pile of a guy's CDs that he had at his table at a flea market. And a good way to lead in with that, if you see stuff as you're going through it, you know, when you go over to the table, just be like, oh, hey, man, you know, how much are your CDs? And just kind of, you know, pretend that you don't notice that there's video games. And a lot of times, you know, people won't notice, you know, maybe even pick up a couple CDs, and they'll just be like, oh, hey, there you go, you got 1, 2, you know, and you can get them really cheap. Gex really isn't an uncommon game. I guess it's kind of becoming more uncommon, but you just don't see 3DO games out in the wild very often, so that was a cool find. And then I got Sega GT for the Dreamcast, also from the same guy, also $1, nothing fancy, but I love picking up anything I find cheap for my Dreamcast because I love my Dreamcast. Alright, so now let's move on to some NES pickups. And I picked up first here, we got Godzilla for the NES, and this is a pretty fun game actually. The controls are a little weird, but you play as Mothra and you play as Godzilla. I've only gotten to the end of stage 1, because near the end of the stage is really, really hard, but you use like your gamma ray blasts and like the little Mothra, I don't know what the hell they are, like little bombs where they come out looking like little versions of Mothra to like bomb aliens and fight other monsters. So it's a really cool game, and I just thought it was unique because, you know, you don't, I didn't even know there was a Godzilla game for the NES, so pretty fun. I definitely recommend it. This is one that I've been wanting to pick up for a while and never got around to it. And this is A Boy and His Blob, Trouble on Blobonia. And from what I've seen of this, this looks really fun. I remember I played it like once or twice when I was a kid, and you feed your blob different flavored jelly beans, and it'll turn into an umbrella or a pair of shoes or a bridge, so you can overcome different obstacles. And a really creative game. Not uncommon at all, very run-of-the-mill, but a solid title that I would recommend you adding to your NES collection. Well, also I picked up another Funko Land sleeve for $1. Anytime I see these, I love picking them up. They're awesome. Just remnants of cool video game stores gone by. I picked up an original 5-star Wrecking Crew black box. And this is about a $12 to $15 game. I think I paid like maybe $2 or $3 for it. So yeah, very, very cool. I love the old black box ones. And Wrecking Crew's okay, but again, kind of confusing to get the hang of. And then another game that's pretty common, but is fun. We got Section Z here, or great shoot 'em up, which kind of reminds me of like Robotech and Macross, with like your robot being able to transform into your ship and back to your robot form. So great shoot 'em up, a lot of fun there. And last but certainly not least, a very, very uncommon game that I got for what did I pay for this? Like $4 or $5, $5 tops. Super Spy Hunter, and this is like a $35 to $40 game. A lot of fun. Highly recommend it. Much, much better, in my opinion, than the original Spy Hunter. And if you see this and it's at a decent, reasonable price, I recommend that you grab it. Alright, so now let's move on to the rest of the video game stuff, which would be like miscellaneous, like peripherals and things like that. So, I picked up something I needed for a long, long time for my GameCube. This is the Game Boy Advance adapter, because when you're playing Wind Waker, you can hook this up and you can use the Tingle Tuner, which I hate saying that just sounds so weird. And it lets you know where different treasures and stuff are, like on the map, so it's invaluable. And also with Yu-Gi-Oh, I believe, you can interface this with the Duelist Soul, and like the other Pharaoh version that's on the GameCube. So, paid, I don't know, $1 or $2 for it. Definitely needed it. Glad to pick it up. This I'm super stoked that I picked up. This is Sega Master System 3D glasses. And I picked these up for $1, total, complete with the power adapter and everything. Now, these were broken when I got them. The sides, they were missing the ends of the earlobes, but I just took a regular pair of sunglasses, cut them down to the sides, and then crazy glued them. And, you know, I'm sure it looks stupid as hell, but they fit and they work, so that's what's important. And seriously, where are you going to find a pair of Master System glasses complete with the adapter for $1? Nowhere. That's where. You're not going to find them. And then, like I said earlier, I also found a Sega CD, and I paid 25 bucks for this, which I think is a really good deal. Has the adapter, and bought this off a good buddy of mine, so he said that it works. I haven't had a chance to test it out, but I trust him because he repairs all kinds of systems, and can't wait to try out my Sega CD games that I got. So this is really cool. And then one of my more interesting finds here, I found a rock and roller controller. Like, are you serious? Like, these things are so ridiculously rare. There were so few of these produced. Now, granted, they're not really that valuable. I mean, to the right collector. I see these going for like $65. I paid $15 for this. But this is just, I'm a diehard nerd, big collector, as you guys well know, and I saw this and I was like, I cannot pass this up. It's just too cool. Like, you stand on it, you plug one end into your NES, and then the other part up here, you plug in an NES controller, and that's how you hold it in order to, like with the A and B buttons to fire and stuff, and you use this to move left and right. And just an insane peripheral for the NES, but so cool. I mean, you haven't seen anything like this since the Wii Fit board, so, which, God, nobody wants one of those, but I mean, my point is this thing just kicks ass. It's so 80s, so 90s, and, I don't know. It's one of those things where I guess it's so bad that it's good, so I saw it, had to have it. And as we're getting near the tail end here, I also found another very, very obscure peripheral. This is for the Odyssey 2, and this is called the Voice. This is the voice adapter, because there were Odyssey 2 games that you could plug this in over top of your Odyssey 2, and you could actually hear modulated voices, and your games would talk to you as you were playing them. Like, I don't know if Sinistar came out on the Odyssey 2, but I would imagine if it did, that'd be something that would work like that. It was mainly more of the sports games and learning games, though, where it would give you the answer, like, like 2 plus 2 is 4, like Nimble Numbers Ned, which is a game I have for the Odyssey 2. So that's more of kind of what it was engineered to. But I got this with an extra Odyssey that I ended up trading in for like $5. So in essence, this cost me like $2.50. So, and online, I've seen these selling for $65 to $75. Now, when I say selling, I want you guys to know that I am actually talking about sold prices, not what people are asking for, not what people are bidding on. These are confirmed, sold, completed listings. So if you want to know the value of an item that you pick up and you're thinking, well, did I pay too much? Is this worth anything? Look at the sold listings and then get an average of all of them. Add them all up, divide them by how many they are, and that'll give you a good ballpark of how much your item is worth. And I think that's the smartest way to do it. As far as with video games, the best standard that I like to use is pricecharting.com. I think that's a great resource for pricing out games. And last but certainly not least, I picked up an Atari 5200. Now, I'm a big Atari fanboy, and I love everything Atari, and I got this giant monster here for only $15. What? Like, these things go for like $80. This is a really great deal. It's just missing the back cover that covers up where you would put the controllers at, and I need to get an AC adapter for it, because it takes a very specific adapter. But other than that, this is a great deal. The controllers are in really good shape. They're not damaged or, feeling like they won't recenter at all. So really happy to add that to my collection there. Alright, and I think that will just about do it, guys, for this month's flea market pickups for the month of May. So this is 8-Byte Brian saying happy hunting out there. Hit those flea markets early. Hit those dirt marts. You will find treasures out there. and happy treasure hunting. See you next month.
Hey guys, if you liked the video that you just watched, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. And if you do the Facebook or Twitter thing, follow me at #KingOfRetro. See you next time.